increase the case to Nigerian economy. The truth that there are some, it has contributed mainly to Nigerian GDP. It accounts for over 90% of Nigerian foreign exchange and is the largest contributor to Nigerian foreign reserve. And as of today, Professor Charles Chukwumasolido said in the year 2010 that Nigeria needs the at least annual 10 billion naira investment in the Nigerian economy. For us to attain the only sector that can attract such huge amount from both foreign and local firms is the oil and gas sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Hampton University. On that note, I would like to announce that when the alarm goes, it means you have 30 seconds to finish. It doesn't mean you should finish and go. So when the alarm goes, it means you have 30 seconds.
We actually apologize for that mix-up. I'm sure you were not used to that particular alarm. The technical room changed that, but we've corrected that. We hope that you will adjust to the new sound of the alarm that you're going to hear. We invite the second speaker from Igbenedion University.
My name is Ilisan, the 500 student of law.
Good day, Mr. Chairman, moderator, panel of judges, accurate and debaters, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all the protocols that we observe. I'm Kaza Fetusa, representing Igbenedion University, and I'm here to propose a motion which states that Nigeria's sole dependence on the black gold makes a Vision 2020 ambition more of a mirage than a reality. And I shall be supporting my assertion by buttressing the following points. 1. Environmental degradation. 2. Loss of life and livelihood. 3. Lack of diversification. 4. Increase in importation. And 5. Time constraint. First of all, talking about environmental degradation. Environmental degradation comes about by oil spillage during exploration of the black gold in Nigeria, and this makes our land infertile. It is a sad thing that the lands that were once arable and lands that were once fertile are made infertile by oil exploration. How then can we say that this is going to aid our Vision 2020 ambition? Apart from that, our water bodies are polluted, thus leading to the destruction of seafood, which our people rely on to feed themselves. How is this in any way aiding our ambition to be among 20 largest economies in the world? Certainly not. Secondly, loss of life and livelihood. This is as a result of the destruction and the degradation of our environment. People such as farmers and fishermen whose mainstay is farming and fishing are made unemployed overnight. And I ask, is Nigeria aiming or going to improve its economy based on the livelihood of the citizens? Certainly not, because it has been stated that 2020 aims to increase the standard of living of the people of Nigeria, and our sole dependence on this black gold does not aid that in any way. So our dependence on the black gold cannot be a way to make Nigeria one of the 20 global economies in the year 2020. Thirdly, speaking about increase in importation, we all know that Nigeria is solely dependent on this black gold, and this has led to Nigeria not focusing on other sectors of the economy, and this makes it not diversified. I ask, this makes it not solely diversified, and I ask that how can Nigeria, which is solely dependent on one sector, that is the oil sector, progress? This cannot help Nigeria in any way. Apart from that, we have countries among the G20 nations. We can say that none of these countries, or few of these countries, do not solely rely on one sector. But how can Nigeria, who is going to be among these 20 nations, be solely dependent on the black gold? This cannot help us in any way. Apart from that, also buttressing my point on the increase in importation, it is so sadly that Nigeria is the largest importer of rice, and yet our lands are fertile. How can this help us in any way? It's even funny that Nigeria imports toothpick as little as that. I ask, what are we doing with our God-given resources in Nigeria? Speaking about time constraint, you see, one thing about debate is that while you sit down here and debate, stop and you listen, you learn. Our opponents here yesterday made us know that it's not even just 7 years that Nigeria has achieved this vision 2020, but 6 years and 9 months. I am here to say that time is against us. With 6 years and 9 months, how can we solely depend on the black hole to achieve our vision 2020 ambition? Of course not. As the adage says, 2 good heads are better than one. And I'm here to say that 2 other or more other good sectors will aid Nigeria, and not only dependent on the black hole, will aid Nigeria in the achievement of our vision 2020 ambition. With this, I would like to end this by saying that it is only a fool and an ignoramus that will keep doing something the same and all over again and expect to receive a different result, because it will only be a mirage and not a reality to that person. As I make a recommendation to our leaders that are here today, I state that Nigeria should diversify its economy. It should look at other sectors, because we have been solely dependent on this black hole and we are still where we are today. With this, I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Igbenedion University. On that note, I would like to invite the second speaker from Fountain University, Igbenedion Miriam Adebimpe. Please let's have a
Too many books they say, spoil of what use is a vision that we are able to achieve in the next 6 years and 7 and 9 months by diversifying the economy. In fact, to state that diversifying the economy, why don't we get to the root of what are those things needed to diversify the economy? Standing on the legislative floor, I'm Igbenedion Miriam Adebimpe, also representing Fountain University of Ogun. I'm here to speak against the motion which states that Nigeria's sole dependence on black gold makes our vision 2020 ambition more of a mirage than a reality. I'm here to assert that Nigeria's sole dependence on black gold makes the vision a reality rather than a mirage. To start with, I'll be buttressing my stand by stating the following point. 1. All sectors that contribute to Nigeria's gross domestic product are oil driven. 2. Crude oil serves as a source of raw material for the production of other products. 3. Proceeds from crude oil increase agricultural production. 4. Vulnerability and dependability of other sectors of the economy. 5. Oil serves as a source of foreign exchange earnings. 6. Oil contributes largely in the product of pharmaceuticals. 7. Vitality of oil sector. 8. Oil is the world's most important source of energy. 9. Excess revenue from crude oil can be invested to diversify the economy. 10. Oil improves the performance of the transportation system. And last, time constraint. Starting with my first point, as contained in the 2012 gross domestic product of Nigeria, there are 5 sectors that contribute to the Nigeria's gross domestic product. We have the service, the construction, the industrial, the wholesale and retail, as well as the agricultural sector. But it is very interesting to note that all these sectors are oil driven. Coupled with this point is the fact that oil serves as a source of raw materials for the production of other products. In the fractional distillation of oil, we have the byproduct, which one of it is petroleum jelly that is used in the production of cosmetics. Also, we have the wax that is used in the production of terminal. Why are we not going to depend solely on this oil that is even able to fuel other sectors of the economy to thrive? In addition to this, is that the proceeds from crude oil increase agricultural productivity. Agriculture, as we all know, contributes the largest quota to the Nigeria's gross domestic product. As I stand before you, agriculture contributes 34.8% to the Nigeria's GDP. But without massive industrialization, as preached in the Vision 2020 blueprint, and we attain our vision in the agricultural sector, of course, no. Mowers, tractors, they cannot work without fuel. And here, oil sectors are not neglected as they will fuel the agricultural sector. Coupled with this is the fact that also fertilizers and pesticides, nearly all fertilizers and pesticides are made from oil. If oil can be able to make agricultural sector thrive, then we are at the path of attaining our Vision 2020 ambition. Then the vulnerability and dependability of other sectors of the economy are vulnerable, successful, and undependable. For example, the agricultural sector. The agricultural sector, which has cash crops as one of those things that can improve our foreign exchange earnings, is so susceptible to flood. A case in point is what happened in Ogun, where there was a flood that led to poor germination of crops as well as loss of livestock. In addition to this, oil serves as a source of foreign exchange earnings. Vision 2020 is all about industrialization and diversification. Oil is the bedrock of this growth, and substantial foreign exchange earnings can only be attained when Nigeria solely depends on black gold, which is also known as oil. Then, oil contributes lightly in the production of pharmaceuticals. An example of this is a byproduct of oil, which is paraffin, which is used in making skin protectants. And as it is preached in the Vision 2020 blueprint, that the vision aims to support and sustain a life expectancy rate of not less than 70 years. How do we intend to achieve this? But we can only achieve this if oil can improve its production to the pharmaceuticals, which will in turn improve the health sector. Fellow Nigerians, oil is an all-in-one commodity that has been able to fuel other sectors of the economy. What is the need to depend on other economy at this point in time when we have barely 7 years left?
Thank you very much, Miriam from Fountain University. On that note, I would like to invite the third speaker from Igbenedion University, Akon Paul.
Interestingly, Nigeria as a country depended on the level for the actualization of the Vision 2010 agenda. But as you all know, that vision ended up being correct. And this I would love to say, we have to move to moderator, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, co-debaters, and my private audience. My name is Paul Scanapan, private auditor law student at the University of Ohara. And I stand here to support the motion which states that Nigeria's sole dependence on the black gold make our 2020 agenda more of a mirage than reality. And this afternoon, I will buttressing my stand on the following points. First and foremost, I'll be talking about lack of industrialization, insecurity, social strife, conflict, and restlessness. Then I'll also be talking about exploitation by multinational companies. Talking of lack of industrialization, Malam Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, in his convocation lecture in Igbenedion University, stated that Nigeria as a country falls amongst the highest producers of cassava. Interestingly too, Nigeria as a country also falls amongst the highest importers of starch. The schemes in which designers like Gucci, Fendi, Prada, Louis Vuitton, and the rest uses in making quality products is actually gotten from Nigeria at a very cheap rate. Malaysia, 20-30 years back, depended on Nigeria for its palm fruit. As I speak today, it is estimated that what Malaysia gained from palm oil is more than what Nigeria gains from crude oil. What would account for all of this? This is as a result of lack of industrialization. The industries we have in Nigeria are not properly funded. We have actually abandoned these industries. All of their attention are being driven towards crude oil. Talking about insecurity, Nigeria as a country was at the time the highest producer of oil in Africa. The restlessness and the insecurity in the South by the militants brought about the drop in its production of oil. Now, the Vision 2020 agenda stated that for Nigeria to actualize this dream, it needs an estimated 32 trillion naira. From the oil sector, only an estimated 11 trillion naira can be produced. Now, this is an estimated figure. What happens in the case whereby we have aviation, oil company, and the rest. So what this entails is that come the 2020, the estimated 11 trillion may not even be realized. Talking about social strife, conflict, and rescue. As we all know, a man who hails from the South expects that virtually everything from crude oil should be accrued or should be returned back to the South. And now, on the other hand, will also tell you that the crude oil we're talking about is a product, a natural resource that is meant for the well-being of Nigeria and not a person from the South. So what does this bring about? Crude oil, which was actually meant to be a blessing to Nigeria, only turns out to bring problems. No wonder we're having delays in the passage of the PIB, the Petroleum Industrial Bill. Talking about exploitation by multinational companies, virtually all of the oil companies in Nigeria today is not a Nigerian company. This is because of lack of expertise in the country. So I would like to conclude by saying that if you should ask a man from Cross River State what he thinks about sole dependence on petroleum, he will tell you that after sitting
Thank you very much, Igbenedion University. On that note, I would like to invite the third speaker from Fountain University. He is a former level student of computer science at AAA and Shakir Live. Please speak.
My name is Adele Shakir, also representing Fountain University. I'm here to oppose the motion which states Nigeria's sole dependence black gold make ambition 2020 ambition more of a mirage than reality. I will be portraying my point. I will be presenting the following point to strengthen our stand against our argument against the motion. The first point is promoting global partnership for sustainable development. The second point, attract foreign investors. The third point is create employment opportunity. The fourth point is source of energy. Point is management of oil proceeds leads to wastage. To start with, it promotes global partnership for sustainable development. Without an iota of doubt, the oil producing nation are the golden issue of the world. This fact makes non-oil producing nation to start for the oil producing nation to partner with them. And as it results in global partnership, such as global partnership for education, global partnership for economic reform, and global partnership for political reform. A case in this point is the bilateral relationship between Nigeria and the United States of America. Nigeria is the fifth largest exporter of crude oil to the United States of America. In 2010, the United States of America's import from Nigeria is about $30 billion, with crude oil accounting for about 99% of the total amount. Also, Nigeria has received about $1 billion in aid from the United States of America. Is this because the United States of America loves us? No. The experts say that the relevance of Nigeria in the international community is because of our crude oil. Without Nigeria's crude oil, Nigeria will not have a friend. Without a friend, there won't be global partnership. And without global partnership, it won't help in the attainment of this vision 2020. Also, in addition, it attracts foreign investors. The zeal and enthusiasm of Nigerian government that Nigerian government has shown in the exploiting of crude oil has attracted foreign investors that Nigerian government welcomes foreign investors. Industrialization is a byproduct of foreign investment. As we all know, we need no gainsaying that industrialization is the bedrock for sustainable development. And foreign investment also use local content and also create employment for indigenous citizens. Fellow Nigerians, let's do some calculation. In the last 16 months, the price of a barrel, the average price of a barrel is $80. On average, Nigeria produces about 2.3 million barrels per day. We calculate this, it's amount to about 200 million million per day. And imagine what we get in a month, and imagine what we get in a year. This is enough for Nigeria to attain our vision 2020. The problem is not our sole dependence on oil, but how can effectively transform proceeds from oil into a sustainable development. On this note, I'll advise Nigerian state to totally depend on oil as it's produced majorly in the among all the sectors of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fountain University. On that note, I would like to invite the representative of Igbenedion for the rebuttal and recap.
Thank you very much. Our opponents talk about the fact that the vision statement states that Nigeria shall harness its resources. Crude oil is not the only resource that Nigeria has. Nigeria has several other resources that we can harness. They talk about budget. I am impressed by the fact that they have alluded to the fact that Nigeria's budget is dependent on oil. And we ask the question, what happens to the volatile nature of oil prices in the national market? Our budget is predicated at $79 per barrel for this current session or this year. What happens if the price of oil falls to $50? That companies are alluding to the fact that oil as a sole economic factor for our development is not good. He did tell us here that oil accounts for employment. I want to ask how. How many Nigerians have the capacity to be employed in the oil and gas subsector of the economy? He alluded to the fact that agriculture contributes 35% to Nigeria's gross domestic product. My dear colleagues, oil on the other hand contributes between 13 to 15% of our gross domestic product. If Nigeria is to become one of the 20 global economies, then of course our GDP has to grow at 14% per annum from 2009 to 2020. We cannot achieve that by still depending on oil. They also talked about, I am so pleased, the first speaker did talk about industrialization. That is a hub for driving economic development. That doesn't mean that they are like themselves